Hey guys, it's Danielle, me. It's my turn. I'm going to work on Kristen. If you're just tuning in, I'm going to try some different things, but feel free to also work on your receiver how Kristen did. So first, Kristen, I'm going to have you start on your right side. Does that sound good?
Yes.
I know, it takes me a second too, right?
I was like, I'm there.
I know,
Let me
so
just
close.
flop on down.
So there's a lot of different things that you can do. I'm a big fan of putting a pillow or some sort of support underneath the head and underneath the hips. Kristen likes the blanket. I'm unsure why. Pillows are perfect, but we're not going to argue with it. Sure, neck injury. Yeah, sure. Anyway, so she's going to use this beautiful blanket that is not as comfortable as the pillow, but we're not going to say anything more about it. And then I love this bolster. If you'll see, you straighten out the bottom leg and you put the top leg over. Sometimes I like to bring it up, bring it over, whatever, hug. It just feels good supporting those hips. So what I like to do is first come up next to my receiver, basically hip to hip, butt to butt, just scooch on in, let her know that I am here, that she is fully supported. And then I'm going to take my hands, I'm going to come in underneath this arm, say hi. My hands are going to say hi together and they're going to grasp the shoulder cap. So right in this area. A lot of people like to come up on the neck, totally fine. Some people closer down on the shoulder, totally fine, just whatever feels good. I have a tendency to make sure that I'm grabbing the shirt, not grabbing the collar, because nobody likes a stretched out collar. Also be mindful of any bra straps or any supportive undergarments. So again, gonna come over here, grab right here onto the shoulder cap, and I'm just gonna lean back, and you'll see how her head lifts and we get that beautiful extension through the neck. I'm gonna lean back. I'm not pulling her, okay? My arms aren't that strong, but my body is. So I'm gonna grab and I'm gonna lean. How does that feel, Kristen? So as you can see, I'm sitting kind of like weird side saddle, I'm unsure. This feels good for me. I move my legs around a lot, whatever works for you. I'm gonna lean. And then I also like to take and grab and pull back onto my knee. And you'll see we're getting more extension and movement through that neck. And it eventually looks like a giant kind of circle is the way I work. Just like this. So once we've had a chance to really open up that neck, I like to come in with a flat palm and just move the shoulder around. It's a little more jostly, but I like to get that big movement through that shoulder girdle because usually they're really tight and the scapula, the shoulder blade, loves to get stuck onto these ribs back here. And so we're just gonna be like, hey, get up. You can also take your fingers or your knuckles and go all around the outside of that shoulder blade.
That's nice.
Just right along that, it's called the vertebral border of the scapula, or we just say shoulder blade part that's closest to your spine, whatever works. Now you'll probably feel on your receiver this like denser tissue, what a lot of people call knots, and that's fine if you just want to like hang out there, do little circles. As you can see, I've got my arm braced against my leg, so I'm not using my arm strength. I'm using my leg. I'm hooked in. Everything's kind of stacked. I'm just leaning, just pushing with my leg to get a little bit extra pressure because I know that Kristen likes that. How's that feel, hon?
Muy bien.
Good. Move all around. Again, being mindful of any supportive garments underneath. Ooh, right in there. And I'm using my top hand or my inside hand to support the shoulder as we go around. Up and around. And when we get closer to the top, you're going to start feeling traps or trapezius. This guy's always angry, always causing problems. I like to grab and pull back a little bit. I'm a big fan of grabbing and pulling. You'll see she gets all that movement in there. As I pull her back like this, a lot of receivers will also feel a stretch in their pecs. As you can see, we're creating a lot of length through their pecs. You can take your inside hand and shear down a little bit if that feels comfortable to you and your receiver. To see how her whole arm is moving? It's because I'm engaging pecs, pec major and pec minor. There you go, pec minor and pec major on the screen. You can see how big they are. Well, pec major is big, pec minor is kind of small, but either way he needs love. And they're real strong. They pull the shoulder forward, which stretches all these back muscles forward, and they don't want to be forward. They want to be back here because, you know, they're back muscles. That's where they should hang out, right? So do our stretch, do our movements just like that. So one of the things that I like to do then is I like to come in, kind of do hip to butt or hip to glutes, grab her arm, and then do some traction. I like to support her lobe or her back as well, just so she knows that I'm here. I'm not a ghost grabbing on her. Big deep breath, Kristen. And I grab and I lean, just like that. Ooh, I feel her tensing up, tightening, and then she'll relax into it. Big deep, oh, there you go. Getting some length. I'm just leaning, hanging back. Some receivers, I can lay all the way down. Some receivers, I'm like, hey, this is about it. Kristen, we're at about here. Ooh, how's that feel?
Good.
Good. So once I've got that shoulder girdle all nice and loosened up, you know, we've done the pecs, done back here on this shoulder, it's all floppy-doppy, right? Then I like to come in more with my soft elbow. You can definitely come in with your knee. I don't feel like doing that today. I'm going to show you an alternative that works well for me. So now your receivers sometimes wear necklaces, Kristen. And
Always wears necklaces.
Yeah, they always wear necklaces for some reason, especially when they know they're getting neck work. It's like she got a sunburn on her neck too. So we're gonna have to work around that. Make sure that you work around that with your receiver. You know, I'm just joking with you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I like to do is, again, take the soft part of our forearm of our elbow right here, and I'm gonna press it in here. You can see the traps. SCM is right here. You can see the top of traps. It's like right in this area. We're gonna press in and then pull back with the flat, soft part of our forearm or elbow. So again, press in and pull back. If we go forward, there's muscles there and they do need work. This isn't really the best area to do this with your elbow because, you know, does anybody like a blood clot? Would you like one?
No, I'm good.
No? Okay, so no blood clots today. So again, we're gonna come in, press, and then pull back. So I'm gonna take soft part of my elbow, hook in, and pull back. How does that feel?
Good.
So the motion that I'm doing is down and towards me, and then to really get some pressure, I like to hook into my arm and then lean back. How does that feel?
Good.
Would you like more or less pressure?
Yeah. No, please.
Okay, there we go. So for this,
Yeah.
I know, right?
Sorry.
Some pressure. So as you can see here on the screen, you'll see those anterior and front and side muscles, as well as the trapezius. We're working on traps attachment right now. And I'm just hanging out. So as you can see, I am on traps here, right in this area, kind of at the base of the skull, but it's gonna go all the way up. I'm gonna have her take a big deep breath in. And then I'm gonna press in even more. And as you can see, I'm at your edge, cool.
Yeah.
As you see, I moved my leg out of the way, so I get a little bit more downward pressure. And then I'm just gonna hang out here. This is what feels comfortable to me. And this is what I like to do. Now this is where you also want to check in with your receivers, because as you can see, there are a lot of muscles going on here. And when there's a lot of muscles going on, they have a tendency to get very angry very quickly. So we want to take our time, do lots of breathing, checking in, seeing how our receiver is doing, seeing if they'd like more or less pressure. If we went back, would you like it to go back?
Sure.
Okay. We can go up towards the head, and you'll see her head move very slightly. Do you like that?
I do.
So she likes that. That's where we're getting a little bit of those side occipitals, those tiny little muscles at the base of the skull that usually cause migraines. Yep, they're right there on the screen. And we're right on the edge of some of those guys where they like to attach. And I'm going to pull back just a little bit more to hook into them just a little bit more with a nice sharp point of my elbow. How does that feel?
Intense.
Good. Big deep breaths. Good job. Okay, big deep breath in. All right, so now I'm going to come out very slowly. Whenever you're dealing with necks or really holding any intense sort of pressure, you want to come out slowly. It can be very jarring to the nervous system to have a lot of pressure and then just bounce out. And the body's like, oh no, what do we do? It's like, no fam, we're okay. So this is where Kristen and I differ a little bit. I like to use my hands a little bit more on this neck area. So I'm going to show you some of that. So what I like to do is, again, come in, hug this arm. This makes her feel safe and supported. I also usually give my clients a blanket because they like to sleep, but we're not going to.
They like to sleep.
They do like to sleep while I do this, so they're very weird. But I love them. I love you guys. No, I can work around it because, you know, our receivers will, you know, have sunburns or wear necklaces, and it's just stuff you work around. So not a big deal. So with this, you can get a little bit of lotion or a little bit of Glide, something like that. But usually the oils, the skin's natural oil, will work out fine and give you the Glide that you need. Just be very conservative with it, because if you go to do anything else and your hands are all oily or greasy, stuff's just going to start sliding around. We don't want to do things and lose our receiver somewhere. So I like to come in. And again, I personally like to shorten the neck at first, hook in right here to the top of SCM. So once I've hooked in, I like to grab the shoulder and then pull back. And this is a pin and stretch. How does that feel? And I'm slowly sliding my thumb up to her occiput and then back to these suboccipitals. This is how I like to do it. Some people have very dense necks. That's just how they're made. That's how they like to work out. It's all great. In that case, for a very dense neck, I would most definitely use a knee or an elbow, not my delicate little fingers here. So while I'm hooked in, I like to move the shoulder around to get more motion throughout these muscles as I've pinned and stretched them. How does that feel?
Intense.
It is very intense. And it should be, because I'm using a very pointed tool, which is my thumb. I use this for eating and I guess hitchhiking, which is probably dangerous, so don't hitchhike. But it's also really great for stabbing in the neck, gently and therapeutically, like this. So I've hooked in and I'm going to pull back. See the movement in her arm? And as you can see, I'm also moving my body around. I do this because if I'm just sitting here hunched over neck stuff, I'm going to turn into a gremlin. I don't want to be a gremlin. Be long and lean and try to be taller than the 5'6" that I am. So again, we're a little bit on the top of this traps right here as I move around. Levator scapula, yeah, that dude, he likes to attach on the top of your scapula all the way to the base of your skull. And he's a jerk. So this one is really great for him. How does that feel? So you can go in and do this. Sometimes you can find more dense areas along the spine or the back of the neck. And in that case, you're like, oh man, I really want to hang out there. I don't have the power and I don't want to break my thumbs or anything like that. You can do a supported thumb like this. You're like, oh, found that nice thing. And then I'm not going to use my arm muscles. I got this nice leg here. Boom. How does that feel on? See, Kristen likes it. She likes a lot of pressure. How does that feel? Good.
It's because my neck is a rock.
It is a rock. It is. You need it. You definitely. I know. I felt that too. So now we're back here into more of the splenius capitis, suboxia, semispinalis capitis. Man, a lot of these are hard. These are very tight on her. And this is, in this instance, you would just hold for your receiver. Let their body allow you to come in. I'm not going to force my way in, thank you, because that's going to cause more pain. Another really cool thing is you can just do some nice neck rubs. Scalp, everybody loves scalp. It's a really great area to do it. So once I've done that and really worked this neck out, come in, pulled back, I like to also, again, just end with this arm mobilization, shoulder mobilization, and pulling her onto me. How did that feel?
So good.
Okay, awesome. So now I'm going to have Kristen roll onto her left side. And she was like, she doesn't need that bolster anymore. She's going to use more blankets, which is definitely an option.
More blankets, please.
It's definitely an option.
Some ask for more cowbell. I ask for more blankets.
More blankets. I am a bougie person and am still in shock that she's not using the pillow or the fancy bolster.
It's only because the bolster is too big. My hip is bothering me.
So all I'm hearing is excuses. And well, that's okay.
This isn't big enough.
Oh, it's not big enough, is it? So you might have a fussy receiver like
like
Kristen or like me who had the sunburn, but it's all good. We work with our receivers where they're at. So again, I like to come in booty to booty so she knows that I'm here. She knows she's supported.
Hello.
And I'm just like, hey, right? So just hanging out there. I'm gonna come in and again, clasp my hands right on, I did say hams like you too. What's going on?
I don't know what happened.
I know, I said
Second time
hams,
too.
right? Anyway, my hands, my phalanges, they're gonna come in and I'm gonna grab and again, just lean back and do these nice big circles. And I can feel the tension that she has in the front of her shoulder, in her pecs, because when I go like this, it does not want to move. It's like, no, because she's got very strong arms and very strong muscles, and they are not having any of this.
I drove 6 hours and 24 hours, so.
She drove 6 hours and 24 hours. I don't know what the math that is.
I just drove to Dallas and back, and so.
Oh, so
arms
she
are
made
like
it.
this.
Oh, yeah. See, exactly. So you're driving, sitting, playing on your phone all the time? Not you, but people in general.
Yeah. No worries.
So once I've had a chance to really open this up, again, to come in with my palm, just move the shoulder around, move that scapula, that shoulder blade around, be mindful of any supportive undergarments, taking my fingers or knuckles or thumb, whatever I want to, and just working right in along that shoulder blade line. Ooh, I feel some tension right there. Again, I'm not going to use my fingers. I use these to eat and apparently hitchhike. So I'm going to press in like this and then use my leg to push in. Use my thumb because that feels good for me. Can use my knuckles. Ooh. But either way, this is money because these rhomboids, they're like a third of the size of your pecs, but they're what helps pull your shoulders back. And every day we're using our pecs to be on our phone, to drive into Dallas. A lot of bodybuilders love to work that anterior, that front chain, because of big swole pecs and those beautiful biceps. But they're all hunched over because they haven't worked on their posterior chain. We got to bring their shoulders back, chest out, shoulders down, just like that. So that's what we want to work on with this. How's that feeling? Good. Just going around here. Now, if your receivers, again, you're like, oh man, I feel something, hang out, it's okay. You can pull their shoulder onto your fingers. I'm gonna brace my thumb on my leg and pull her on because that's what feels good for me. Not everybody's like that. Some people, they need to curl their fingers. Some people don't like to do this at all. It's totally okay. Then I'm gonna come in again with my forearm and we're gonna work pecs. You can see I switched from doing like this to this because this is gonna give me more over movement and that's what works well for me. So I'm gonna come in with my forearm into pecs and just move it around. Using the heel of my hand, the palm of my hand, whatever you and your receiver are comfortable with. How does that feel? We're gonna get all up into pec minor, which is like kinda in the, almost in the armpit. It's a real tiny one. And we're gonna get into a nice big pec major, moving him around. How's that feel? Did I poke you enough?
Good.
So I like to do that. Ooh, pull you out like this. Where are we at? Ooh, yeah. Sorry about that. So I went real hard.
Yeah, do it quickly.
I went real quick, real hard on side pecs and intercostals, which are your rib meat. Didn't warm her up. That's why she kicked.
That's why my leg was flapping
Yeah,
around.
that's why she was flapping around. Fun fact, rib meat is really painful. So be very mindful of it. You got to work up to it. Maybe we should do a thing about intercostals later.
Oh, we definitely should.
Oh man, you guys are love and hate it. It's awesome. So anyway, so we're working on pecs. Got them nice and softened up. Again, whatever your receiver needs. Gonna come in, do my big circles again, because that's what feels good. And then I like to do traction this way, so I'm gonna come in. We're gonna clasp hands because we're best friends.
Besties.
Got her supported here with my inside leg. Big deep breath in. And I'm just gonna lean back. Ooh, I feel she does not want to let go. It's okay, she's got strong muscles. We're just gonna hang out for just a moment. Okay, I'm gonna go and come back up. Big deep breath in. And out. Oh. A little bit more movement there. And this is just how I like to do the traction, and it pulls on levator scapula, it pulls on traps, which are always very, very tight. It's always when you feel your shoulder blades up to your ears, we're gonna pull those down. So once we've done that, I'm gonna come in, and again, with the soft part of my forearm, right before the elbow, elbow is very pointy, so it's this area right here. I'm gonna bring it in,
Dang, girl.
right on this what?
Stretching the heck out of my collar, girl.
No, I'm not, I'm moving it out of the way. Oh, okay.
My bad.
I'm sorry, gently move
With love.
with love for Green Day
Yeah.
in this vintage t-shirt.
Vintage from Target.
What's as old as new,
I know.
is gently move it out of the way because
Because I'm sensitive.
because she's sensitive. And we're gonna use that part of our arm. Again, I'm gonna move up just a little bit more. I'm gonna hook in, and again, keeping in mind, not going to the front of the neck. We're gonna hook in and then pull back. Safer that way, easier for everybody. And get some of that upper traps, some of that levator. How does that feel?
Good.
Would you like more or less pressure?
Good.
Okay, so she's good here. We're gonna hang out here. And depending on how your receiver is, you know, again, you might have super, super dense tissue, so you just gotta hang out and be cool. And this is where we're at. If it's super dense, you can go in with your knee. You can go in with your shin. You can go in with your elbow like I am. It's whatever works out well for you and your receiver. So I'm gonna shear up just a little bit right there to get a little bit more of that levator attachment and just a hint of those suboccipitals. How does that feel? So, and the pressure that I'm doing is I'm doing downward pressure and then shearing up this way and then shearing a little bit towards the back. So it's 3 different planes of movement, existence, I'm unsure, but that's what we're doing. That's kind of how it feels to her, but they're very, very subtle movements because this area is very small and we want to go very slow. How's that feel? Yeah. If I wanted more pressure, which I'm going to be very gentle because I'm going to back up just a little bit, because you can see the neck muscles, there's a lot of them, they get angry easily. But when I want to, I'm going to press in right there. But say I found an area that needed just a lot more of attention for whatever reason. For Kristen, because I know I'm already super deep, I'm going to come out just a little bit. And then if I wanted to, I can bend my arm and now use the pointy side of my elbow and really get into those subocs and that levator attachment. I'm doing very, very light pressure. Kristen, how does that feel?
Does not feel light, but it feels good.
She says it does not feel light, but it feels good, and that's true because I'm using a very sharp tool. We're doing broad. See how I leaned forward? It's a little easier. I'm gonna lean back and use my elbow. Ooh, way sharper. So again, just be mindful of where your receiver is at, what they can and cannot handle. How's that? Okay. So once you feel that you've softened this area up a lot, I like to move back down, come back in, hug the shoulder, being very gentle of the vintage t-shirt collar.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna do some neck work. And like I said, I like to use my hands for this and my thumb. I like to bring the shoulder up closer to the ear, finding some of that dense tissue that I was feeling earlier, which I feel more in this area for Kristen.
Yep.
So I'm gonna move this out of the way because I can't see. You're gonna wear a lower shirt next time. Right in that area for Kristen. I'm gonna come in, hook in with my thumb, big deep breath in. She feels it. And then I'm gonna slowly pull back, just like that. So this is another pin and stretch right here on those neck muscles. Do you mind tilting your head forward just a bit so they can see? Thank you. So as you can see, ooh, yeah, I'm right there, right along there. Okay, go ahead and relax again. And this is just where I'm gonna hang out, right here on, pretty sure this is levator and traps.
Definitely feels like it.
Yeah. And Just press in, and then I like to move the shoulder around to get some movement in there. Ooh, it's so tight. She's so tight right there. We should have done this side first, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Would have been a half an hour of just right neck.
I know.
But you can follow this line, levator really, from the scapula, from the shoulder blade, all the way up to here, and then that brings you into just some really great scalp work. You like to press in and move around, or you like to do the scritches, like, you know, you're just scritching a cat. Well, you like dogs, like you're scritching a dog. I like cats, cats are better. And then what?
I said I like the first one.
Oh, you like the deep one?
Oh, it's so deep.
So Kristen likes it
Like
when when you press in and move all that
Slowly.
fascia around. Kristen's not a fan of the scritches.
I mean,
Some people love
messes up my day
scritches.
here.
It's so beautiful.
I know.
I can't
I'm
mess
a
it up.
diva.
You are a diva.
Like, don't mess up my collar. Don't mess up my hair.
Don't mess up my messy
but
ponytail.
relax my body.
Exactly, just like every other client. So I also like to come in, so the suboccipitals are right in this area, right at the base of the hairline. I like to come in and press, just gently, and move that shoulder around again. I'm a big fan of breathing with my receiver. Helps me stay in tune with what they're going through. Helps me pace a lot better. We've gone really fast. And we've done this because we're showing you some cool stuff. But in reality, this takes a long time. It takes a long time to get these muscles to relax because it took a long time for those muscles to get this messed up. So we have to meet our receivers where they're at. We don't want to muscle them through it because that can just cause more pain. And it's more work for us, and that's what we don't want. So just hanging out, moving stuff around. What time are we at, babe?
It's at 8.
Cool.
I should have a couple more minutes because I need to push.
Oh, I know. She just wants a couple more minutes. Something
I'm like,
about
don't
me.
feel like you have to just stop because really.
Yeah. Yeah, something about like starting late, not the neck work that she wants. But again, I'm just moving my thumb up and down these muscles. Now, if your thumb is hurting, because, you know, dude, that hurts. These are thumbs. We use these to eat and hitchhike. And I'm sure other things, gaming probably. I don't know what people use thumbs for.
Definitely.
If that's too much, then we can come in, flatten our thumb. We can do a supported thumb. Or again, we can use our elbows. Like we don't want to hurt ourselves while we're working on our receivers, while we're working on our friends, while we're working on our clients. So I am comfortable using my thumbs like this, but not all of y'all are, and that's okay. So that's when, if I'm like, oh snap, super, super dense, I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna use my sweet, sweet pointy elbow. It's not gonna take very much pressure or work at all, but it does take concentration because, you know, don't wanna hurt her or anything like that. I know, right? It's because I love you.
She cares.
Yeah, well, and she works on me, and then she'd be like, oops, as she like stabs me.
Yeah.
So it was an accident. We have so many accidents.
What goes around comes around the tie jam.
I know, right? I'm scared. Guys, I'm scared. I need an adult. So just slowly pressing in. I'm right here on her suboccipitals. Oh,
baby,
yeah.
just say it once it's out.
Felt levator move. So, and that'll happen. For you as the receiver or as the giver, don't freak out, because sometimes that'll cause them to freak out. Just breathe. It happens. Muscles roll around all the time as they release. So then we're just going to back up, let it reset, and push back in. And these are very gentle movements, so you guys can't even see it. I'm going like this, and then like this. Very, very gentle. So it's like this, and then this. It's kind of hard to see, but that's because necks are gentle and very small. So I'm going to have her take a big, deep breath in. And I'm going to come out on that out breath because I was in there pretty deep. And I'm going to come in, move the shoulder around, again mindful of our very vintage tea collar. And just put everything back together. How are you feeling?
Well, we could do this all night. Yeah,
We could do
not
this all
bad.
night, and then that would start costing money at that point. So anyway, I'm done. How about you, Ish?
I mean, as I said, it doesn't have to be over.
It doesn't have to be over,
But it is.
but the jam is. So So anyway, guys, that was quick upper neck, a little bit of upper back, some pecs. Dude, pecs always need love. And I have a feeling we're going to do intercostal rib meet next time, unless, you know, we get a super crazy request. Give us crazy requests.
Give us requests.
We love requests.
Yeah.
Tell me something weird. What's bothering you, and we will show you how to work on it. Otherwise, we'll come up
We'll
with
keep doing whatever
Yeah.
feels good on us.
kind of, yeah,
And
like
just be like, hey, enjoy it.
exactly. Except for intercostals, that's going to hurt, and she's going to love it.
It hurts, but in the end, you'll feel better because we're
Yeah.
unwinding some things that we've built up, some adhesions. So
Definitely. But for now, you guys have a really great intro to neck work. You can work on your partners and your friends and clients if you have them. And again, save your hands, be mindful. Elbows, knees are great. You've got whole lots of tools just outside your fingers. So take care of these guys, because again, we use these to eat and play video games, and I should probably stop saying hitchhiking.
So yeah, thanks so much for coming today, guys. Can't wait to see you again. We generally do it first and third, but sometimes things get a little funky, so we will be posting, and we hope to see you with us live. But if not, feel free to hit the playlist of the Thai Jams and check out some of our old ones.
I had the mic. Be loud.
Oh,
yeah. I should-
hello. You couldn't see it?
No, I don't know, but
Oh. Well, yes, guys. So yeah, feel
So
free, give us some any suggestions you have, and stay tuned. Give us any comments. We'll be here. Thank you so much for being here with us.
thanks, guys. Take care.